going on, guys? HipAuz here for kind of a semi part 2 to the grab the object thing walkthrough that I did. In this video, what I want to try to do is I actually want to try to get the object to be pulled into my hands, and instead of doing it, getting it working, then coming back and explaining what I did, I figured I would invent it on screen and let you guys kind of see how some of the thought process that goes through at least my head when I try to come up with this kind of shit. I don't go and look at I haven't looked at any tutorials or anything like that. I'm quite certain that probably somebody has already figured this out, but in this case what I want to do is just try it out myself. I got some theories. So the idea is that instead of just straight attaching the component, I'm going to pull it first and then attach it. So I want to try to get it to zing up to me. So the idea that I have is this. I'm going to take the held object. I'm going to take the physics gun point, and I'm going to try to find a look at rotation between those guys so that object knows where to go. So the held object, oops, let's get that actor location. Okay, the physics gun point, I believe, needs world location because it's a component. Remember, we're not looking, this is not the actor. The actor is actually me, the character. So we're gonna go from the object to us. Okay, and then we're gonna get the forward vector of that. Let's see if this gives us anything good. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to try to add an impulse to that guy when I throw the object. How am I doing the impulse? Okay, so I am using the same thing. I've seeing bone name and velocity change kind of freaked me out for a second. I just couldn't remember. Okay, so now this is going to maintain gravity on it. So I need to have a pull strength, basically. So I'll take this and duplicate it, and it's faster to do that than to make a new variable because it keeps it in the same category already. And I'll compile here, and I'll say I'll keep the strength at what it is, at 1500. So what I need to do is I need to multiply this by pull strength, and I need to throw that in there. But I think that what I need to do first is disable gravity, because I'm pretty certain right now that it's going to be very broken. Okay, it's not strong enough. I'm pulling the object. You can see here I can actually pull the object towards me, but A, it's not strong enough, B, it's not continuous, and C, the gravity is broken. So we need to solve those problems. It's also a one-time thing. Like I said, it's not continuous, so I may need to run this on a tick until it's in my hands. The other idea is that I turn this into a velocity change, but I think I definitely want to disable gravity. Is that actually possible? Set enable gravity. Okay. Now, the other thing that I need to do, I'm pretty sure I'm definitely going to have to run this on tick because I need to keep checking if I've got it, if it's hooked to me, basically. This is going to actually be part of this in the end somewhere. Pull object. So I may need to have a variable to say that I'm pulling the object so that I can give this kind of a gate. So let's do that. Let's duplicate this one and we'll say is pulling object. And what we'll do is we'll set that to true. And then we'll come over here and we'll branch here. So this is only going to happen if it's true. Which means now I can stick this here. Now I believe it's more efficient for me to actually stick this branch here, okay, so that the tick itself gets stopped here. Really, although I'm not going to be saving that much because the only thing that I'm going to be saving is the jump from here to here. It'll still stop right after that. Granted, I firmly believe that it is more efficient to do it that way, but I'm being lazy as shite, so I'm just going to keep it this way. So it's more. I'm going for organization more than I'm worried about the code of the whole thing. So now I'm ticking this. So now I should be able to run with gravity disabled. It should come straight at me. It might even go too fast. Yeah, and I'm going to keep it at a velocity change. So now what I want to do is actually do a check here, and let's get distance between these two. Oh, can I not do that? Can I do it? Can I get distance here? Oh shit. Okay. I'm gonna have to subtract them. There was a get the vector length, and there's a nearly equal here. This is awesome because you can get a tolerance. You can say like, hey, you know, within an error tolerance of 5. We'll branch that out. This is a fantastic node, the nearly equal to node. Okay, so this is effectively the same thing as get distance. So what I want to do is I want to inject this in here first. And run it to here. Okay, so what we're doing here, in theory anyway, is we're disabling the gravity. We are checking if we're close. Okay, if not, then we're going to add an impulse in this direction, which is basically looking straight from the held object to the physics gun point. Once we're attached, we'll re-enable gravity, and we'll turn off that we're pulling the object. Okay, that's the theory. Let's see what we get. I'm sure there's going to be something wrong with it. Okay. It's going way too freaking fast. And gravity never actually got re-enabled. Okay, so pull strength as a velocity change isn't good. Let's see about not as a velocity change. Okay. Still very fast. Theory's there though. The theory's there. Theory's working. It did pull it. Okay, so pull strength is entirely too strong because we're taking it impulse, 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 right? If I impulse it to at 1500 strength, that got it moving, then you impulse it again. It's like that old school rocket method that they were saying that would get something close to the speed of sound by constantly firing a nuclear bomb explosion behind an object with they're all the same strength, but it keeps pushing it faster and faster and faster because it's moving faster. So that felt extremely fast, so I'm gonna drop that down significantly. Okay, that's still a little bit fast too, and also I think that my tolerance is probably not high enough here. Okay, 5 is very low. Probably needs to be more like 30 to 50. But it's still pulling very fast. So let's try 100. That felt better. So it's bouncing off of me, and it's never really able to settle because that tolerance is too high. So let's go ahead and set that to like 50. Or sorry, the tolerance was too low. Okay, there we go. It finally got into my hands, but that one worked out really nice. That one's taking a little bit too long. It's kind of bouncing off of me. I may need to increase also the start distance. Okay. So that it doesn't hit me. But in theory it's working okay. It could be, it still feels a little bit strong. So let's try 50. I don't want it to be too slow. That's actually too weak. Like I can't actually pull the bottom out. So here's an idea. Here's an idea. I don't know if this math is right. So the theory is, as it gets closer to its target, the strength should go down. So what I'm trying to do is normalize this distance between the 0 and 1 range. And then get the vector length. Now if this doesn't work, I'm going to try dividing 1 by the distance. Well, we'll see. I may just need to pull out I may need to just get the forward vector or something. Let's see what this does. I don't know if this is going to work. This might be too weak as well. So pull strength, I'm going to go ahead and kick that back up to like 150 and let's just see. This might be way too strong, might be too weak. I don't know if that math is correct. That didn't feel too shabby. That didn't feel too shabby at all. That didn't feel too shabby. That math is correct. Okay, when it bounced off the other object, it didn't like it. Didn't like it when it, see how it gets kicked out? And then the strength is weak. That was friggin' weird. Yeah. I mean, it's not that that's all that bad, but yeah, that's kind of bad. You can see flips around a little bit around me. But a straight pull is good. An uninterrupted pull is good, but a non-interrupted pull where it gets kicked out away, that's not so good. Okay, so it's getting close though. It's getting close. This math does work pretty good though. I think. It felt alright. So we're like I said, we're multiplying the strength based on the distance here. Let me try just out of curiosity. Let's just go float times float here and use that instead. Just straight up vector length, multiply that. Now that's probably going to make it come at me really, really fast in the beginning. It's going to be 2,000. It's probably going to shoot right past me. Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that ain't right. Even if pull strength was like 1, this would be at the max distance. This would be 2,000. So yeah, that ain't good. That ain't good at all. This is much better. Okay, I'm gonna try this at velocity change again. Let's just see. Was that too fast? Is that gonna be too fast now? Let's try to grab something that's obscured. He does eventually grab it every single time, even if it does get all kind of weird. And I like the fact that it can be affected by physics. I like that fact. But yeah, the fact that it can shoot way past me like that, I almost want to say I need to speed it up as it gets closer to me, but that's going to make it overshoot, right? Because the one thing I don't want to do is, at least I don't think, well, I got an error? Why would I get an error on that? It's really not strong enough to get the bottom. See, that one just like literally pinged off my friggin' head. Doink. I know I can make this, I know I can make the distance bigger here. I don't know why I'm getting this error. Set the color parameter value. That's access none held object. Okay. I need a little bit of I need a little more safety here. Okay, so we check that. Just make sure that's valid before we do anything. That should get rid of that error. So with a much larger radius on that, now it's wait, was it already at 150? Is that still gonna wing off my head? Yeah, that still has the ability to zing off my head. I don't want it to be too... You know what I kind of would like to do would be, how about this? If it gets within a radius... Well, yeah, how about I could increase the radius, and if it gets within the radius, then I stop impulsing it and I do a direct linear translate. Right? A direct linear translate straight to me. So that could work. So that way I get a nice physics pull towards me, and then once I get within within maybe 300, maybe 500, I don't know. Once I get within some kind of tolerance there, I stop impulsing and I pull it, like I literally shift it straight to me. So that I like. So let's pull this. Okay, so if it's true, I might need two checks here. I might need to check if it's within the first tolerance. This would be check if we're close enough to straight pull it to me, and then I need to run a check again and see if it's within, like 50, and then it can snap. And I think that might be the best of both worlds. So how the fuck am I going to do that? Let me think. I kind of having a brain fart, I'll be honest with everybody. That happens to me quite often. Okay, so that's happening. Now how am I going to get... Because I can v-interp. so this is distance check number 1. We're going to kick that up a notch. Bam! And then we're going to pull this down. So and we're going to branch from here. And we'll try a really close, maybe we can get away with something. Oop, 50, not 500. We'll try a really close one. So that's the idea there. Now I know it's a little disorganized here, but we have 2 checks. First we're checking if we're in 300. If not, we're impulsing, right? If we are, now we're checking if we are within 50, and if not, we're lerping it straight position. Okay, and if we are within 50, we do the snap. I don't know if the lerp thing, if I have that set up correctly. I might need to actually get this location and set it as a variable, then interpret, then set the location. I think I can do it this way. Just straight feed the locations in. I think I can do it that way. May also need a Boolean variable. That was kind of interesting. Okay, now it wigged out for a little bit. That is kind of interesting. It's yeah, if I let it go, the gravity never got re-enabled. That's the other problem. If I start pulling something and I let it go, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's another check I gotta do. See, I can do that, and that's not cool. But I'm not worried about that yet. I knew that was gonna happen. Let me think. So far, no errors. I just increased that radius just a little bit. Bye. Alright. I think that's okay so far. So now I just need to, if I let go, when I drop the object, I need to set enabled gravity. I know there's another problem coming up. Okay, so now if I let it go, it just drops. Okay, gravity doesn't freak out. But what happens if I right click? See, I'm pulling it and then I right click. So pull right click. pull right click. Now it's, if I do that fast enough, see, if I basically left and then right click really fast, I can, so I basically kind of need to do the same thing over here. Because the thing is now what I need to do is, I think, because it's no longer an instantaneous snap into my hands, I think that what I want to do is stick that there. So only when it's all the way to me is it being held, right? And just and I shouldn't actually need to do this now, but just as a safety measure, where's throw object? Just as a safety measure here, I'll make sure that if I do throw the object, I make sure that gravity gets enabled. So now if I just click, actually I just effectively made it so that a click is how I grab stuff. Which I don't like. I want to hold the button. I want to have to hold the button. Because this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen because I'm not holding the object. I am checking if I'm holding it. Oh, no, I'm checking if I'm pulling it. So this will still happen. Not sure here if, I think if I'm not holding the object I can still check if I am pulling the object. And if I am, then I believe I need to make sure that that gets set. I'm running out of fucking room here. Alright, let me see. Let's just get all this pulled up a little bit. Now if I'm holding the object, it means pulling the object is already off, because that happens here at the end. Before I can be holding the object, I'm not pulling it anymore, so I don't need to worry about that. Let's see about that. Okay, if I just click, it lets go. If I hold it, it comes into my hand. If I let go, it drops. Ta-da! Thanks for watching.